there, today I am bringing you a review of The Elegance of the Hedgehog by Muriel Barbery. This is a lovely book. I've had it for a while. It was sort of spoken about briefly about a year or two ago on BookTube, but everyone was quite understated about it. It was kind of nice, a nice, lovely read. Everyone was, nobody had anything bad to say about it, but nobody particularly raved about it. I have to say it was so much better than I was expecting. The writing in this is spectacular. To start with the synopsis, it's a house of flats. I get the impression it's quite a grand house of flats where quite rich, privileged people live. And we follow two characters throughout this. We follow Renee, who is the concierge of this house. She lives in the ground floor flat and she obviously does concierge-y things. And also we follow a teenage girl who lives in one of the flats with her family called Paloma, and both these voices were spectacular. There's not an even split between them. It's not one chapter with one chapter with another. It's mainly Renee's point of view, to be honest, with the odd splattering of Paloma throughout, and which was a shame because I think Paloma's voice out of the two for me was the strongest, but Renee's voice was excellent as well, so it didn't matter. This book discusses issues that aren't necessarily relevant to me, and I don't think are necessarily relevant in this country. I might be naive to say that, but there's a lot about sort of split between classes, and sort of because Renee is a lower class citizen living in this upper class house, she's very much treated like a lower class citizen. She's a very intelligent woman. She reads a lot of literature, and she hides this from the residents because she thinks that they would sort of mock her if they thought that they would think she had graces above her station, sort of thing. Which, in my life I've never distinguished between classes, really. I don't, it's not something that I would necessarily ask somebody when I meet them. And I think most people in this country would say the same thing. It's not really an issue anymore, but this is set in Paris, and in this house it is an issue. And the way it's actually angering in this, the way Renee is treated by the people. Obviously she's living in the house. Her working hours are sort of 8 till 5, but they'll knock on her door at 7 o'clock and expect her to do something. And on Sundays, which is her day off, they still expect her to do stuff, and they don't consider the fact that she's got a life of her own because she's there, and why wouldn't she do it? Which was a very interesting point and something I can certainly relate to in my life. I like that aspect of it. In terms of Paloma's voice, she's a 12-year-old girl, but she's very, very intelligent. And I think she does have a way of looking down on people, but not in terms of class, more in terms of their intelligence. So she'll look down on somebody if she doesn't consider them bright or interesting. But she does it in a way that's really beautiful, and she's got a very interesting view. I'm actually going to read you a section of Paloma's that I thought was spectacular. It was her first section, and it just completely summed up how I was feeling about life at that time. I think that was the main thing for me. So she has her sections sort of follow themes, and she has one section that is about profound thoughts, and she writes a little haiku at the beginning of each. This one was follow the stars in the goldfish bowl and end. Apparently, now and again, adults take the time to sit down and contemplate what a disaster their life is. They complain without understanding, and, like flies, constantly banging against the same old window pane, they buzz around, suffer, waste away, get depressed, then wonder how they got caught up in this spiral that is taking them where they don't want to go. The most intelligent among them turn their malaise into a religion. Oh, the despicable vacuousness of bourgeois existence. Cynics of this kind frequently dine at Papa's table. What has become of the dreams of our youth, they ask with a smug, disillusioned air. Those years are long gone, and life's a bitch. I despise this false lucidity that comes with age. The truth is that they are just like everyone else. Nothing more than kids who don't understand what has happened to them, acting big and tough, when in fact all they want is to burst into tears. Oh, so good, so good. She's just excellent. The characterizations in this are just spectacular. And the observations as well are excellent. This is a very gentle book. If you like plot-based novels, don't read this, because it's not about a plot. It's about the life they're living, and it's basically, for the main part, I mean, there is more of a storyline than this, but for the most part it is just snippets of profound thought, effectively. Obviously Paloma actually highlights the fact that it is profound thought, but it's basically about philosophy and life and these people's observations of life, and it's just really good. The observations in this actually put me in mind of The Book of Disquiet by Fernando Pessoa, which it's nothing like it, but it is at the same time. It's that level of you just have to stop and be like, that is exactly what I feel exactly at this time. But it's very gentle. Elegance is a perfect way to describe this. It's very elegant. It's not fast-paced. It's not plot-based. It's just gentle and elegant and thoughtful. The only thing I would say about this, there's something at the end that happens, and it is beautiful, and it was sad, and it nearly brought me to tears. I don't cry at books, but it came as close as any book's going to come. But I felt as though it could have done without it. I felt it was kind of an effort to give it some form of plot or to tie things up, and I think it would have been better if they were left open, because the book was about the open possibilities, and I felt like it should have been left open, and I would have preferred it to be left open, as much as the ending was fine as it was. So I would definitely recommend this for anyone who likes a slow, philosophical, thoughtful read. It's definitely worth a go. Bye.